guest hasn't weighed in on. These ones I shared with you are just in the past few days, and he has the right and the pedigree to do so. Just that today he promises to be as vocal when we talk about his former colleagues in the Senate and this budget padding story. The upsurge in school abductions, mistakes of the Buhari administration, state police, the SIM blockers who somehow can't block ransom collectors, the Italian mafia, and something about shekels of silver, as well as other issues we'll be addressing in this exciting hour. Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm on Channels Television. I'm Kayla Magwa. My guest is known by many names: Comrade, Kwamred, Revolutionary, Megashi. He has been called many names, but one name he can never be called is shy. Join me in welcoming to the program Senator Shehu SANI. He was a senator representing Kaduna Central from June 2015 till June of 2019. This Kaduna-born politician is currently a member of the People's Redemption Party. He's also an agricultural engineer, civil rights activist, Pan-Africanist, freedom fighter, author, publisher, and poet. He's the current president of the Civil Rights Congress of Nigeria. Mr. Shehu SANI, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you for having me in this program.
It's really, really nice to have you on the program. Happy Ramadan.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about a few of the things going on right now, because you have been very vocal about them. But you see, the thing is, you're very vocal on social media. Why did you decide to do that? Because I know that for many people, myself included, I'm pretty shy on social media. But you're very vocal. What made you decide to use that platform?
Thank you for having me in your program. Well, for decades and for the most part of our lives, we have been intervening on national issues as far as expressing our views or opinion is concerned. And that is part of our own ideals. And it didn't start today. And that has been our vocation since the time of military rule. And that has many times got us into trouble over the years. Things have evolved. And in today's world, the only platform from which you can easily hear your opinion and it radiates to those that need to hear it in the social media. And many of us have embraced it with all its challenges, troubles.
Let's talk about those challenges.
Yes.
Because that's one of the issues people have. Many people have called for the regulation of social media because of fake news and just how toxic it can be. You know, especially for people who are trying to preach mental health and, you know, try to see if we can have a sane society. Many people have called for the restriction of social media, at least its coordination in some sort, to reduce the toxicity and to ensure that only real stories are put out there. What do you make of these calls?
Well, you see, like in everything in life, when you have the positive side, there is the negative side. Before the advent of social media, people find it difficult to access the news. You have to wait till the next morning to go to the vendor and get what is happening, or you have to wait for a week for the periodicals that usually come up on Sundays or Mondays. But today, as things are happening, so you are also involved. As they said, now the information follows you, you don't follow the information. But the problem we have is that it is becoming chaotic, actually. And many people couldn't stand the heat. When I was in the National Assembly, and up to today, I can say that 80% of people in government are not in social media. And they are not in social media, not that they don't access and harvest information from there, but many don't actually operate their social media handles for the fact that many can't tolerate, they can't contain, they can't condone the kind of toxicity that comes with it. You post something positive and then you expect either contributions or responsible commentary. You can get insult out of it. So it has generated so many things and it has taken a life of its own. But the danger of regulation is that people are not regulating. In the past, there were attempts by the National Assembly session I belong to and the subsequent one to regulate the social media, but it has come with a lot of risk. The risk is the fact that those who were calling for social media regulation are not doing that on the platform that it is chaotic, but they see it as one that targets them and hold them accountable. Because it has become a people's parliament where people can hold the government to account, and there are many things that get changed and get government attention simply because it comes from the social media. So you can see, if you are going to regulate it, you also have to be careful so that you don't trample on the rights of people to freely express themselves. I think the area that I want that if there is even need for regulation is the one in which people should own up to what they have said or what they have posted or what they have tweeted on Instagram, Facebook, threads or whatever. Because most fake news comes from anonymous sources. And if you are going to have a Facebook account, there can be a regulation to say that it belongs to you. So whatever information that comes out of it, everyone knows it's from you. So that one is better. But when you are talking of restricting information, trying to censor people from expressing their opinion, then you have gone against what our Constitution has provided and guaranteed for us.
Listening to a few of the people, even in this administration, who are talking about some sort of regulation. Of course, Mr. Gbajabiamila is one of those voices. You listen to them and it also almost comes from, they seem to be coming from a point of view where, look, you're not holding people responsible for talking about the platforms themselves. It's very rare that we find people being held responsible for putting out false stories. Usually what happens is if there's a fake story, we hope that the true story comes out, combats it, and then we're able to get law enforcement to do what's right. But the onus in their minds should be on the part of those who own these platforms to ensure that people are unable to use their platforms to forward agendas that could be anti-democratic, that could cause chaos, that could cause a lot of, anxiety and hatred and even sometimes crisis on social media, But, is there some kind of balance? I listened to your response there. Is there some kind of balance that can be made in this regard right now?
You see, most times when people are in the opposition, they have a template of what they want the society to do and not to do. And the ruling party now has effectively used social media to vilify, to attack, and to demonize the former ruling party, which was the PDP. But the moment we came to power in 2015, then people in the position of authority started becoming uncomfortable with what they did. So it's like what goes round comes round. So the PDP was in power, and we effectively used the social media to demonize them, to destroy them, to evict them out of power. But now the APC came to power, and the same weapons are being used by young people against the APC. And now they start taking, no, we now need to regulate. But you don't do things because you are in power. You look at the greater good of the society. I accept the fact that there are some social media content that undermines democracy, that threatens the stability and unity of this country. There are some social media content that has the capacity of setting the nation ablaze. But the point is that once we have a system where every person who makes an input, whatever information comes, can be traced to that person, you will naturally have regulations. Because some people simply share fake information. Some post, some create fake information. Some create inciting statement, and some share inciting statement. So once you have a thread an algorithm where it will say, this is the person who originated the story. People will now be very careful. But I am not in support of a censorship where it will make it impossible for people to hold their government to account, or a censorship where it will make people in power so comfortable that the weapon being used against them, or the one they used before, has now been neutralized. That's supposed not to be.
I want to be able to get your thoughts on a few of the things that are going on in the country. Of course, you are very vocal on national issues.